In May 1963, after almost 25 years, it is finally time. The United States has collapsed into a civil war after suffering catastrophic losses both on the field and in the prisoners of war camps in Europe, and the Free American Empire is on the rise. There are a couple more countries that are actually now interested. Peru wants to join the faction, so we'll accept them as well. And who else can we invite? The Dominican Republic. Absolutely, you are welcome as well. We are shipping the first army to the Free American Empire. We have already taken Quebec and Montreal with minimal resistance, and I don't think we have a port yet from which we can operate here. But I think we're currently still operating out of Greenland. But the Imperial fleet can actually move over to New England, I believe, at this point. It's relatively safe, and operate as a strike force. So we'll get them to move over, and that should give us complete control over the... we don't really need to worry about the rest of the Atlantic that much anymore. And we can operate from here and control the Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico, and everything else. So the Atlantic is firmly under our control. The Air Force is partially already operating here, and we are bringing in additional planes to assist with air operations. There are still a fair amount of fighters up in the air, but so far we are trading very favorably 1 to 10. So it looks like at least over New England we'll be making good progress. So for now, I am sending. I've still got the Marine divisions here. They can make themselves useful and just expand our territory secure and expand our territory inside Canada. Whereas the first batch of motorized infantry is moving towards the front lines to clear out the eastern parts. We're sinking remnants of the U.S. Navy, but there's not an awful lot left, I believe, at this point. Plus, I don't know how much the Free American Empire has taken with them. So let's just keep expanding our territory here a little bit, and I think we can already finish that up here. So the other divisions can actually move to the south. We have green air, and I believe the rest of the. Let's take the airport here as well and see if we can. Collapse the northern front a little for the Free American Empire, because they are, I think, Canada is already moving all the way up to Detroit here, so we do need to make something happen there. And yes, once the tank divisions from the First Army arrive, I'm not sure where they are. There they are. Once the First Army's tank divisions arrive, then we should be good to go without much further ado, and assist in collapsing the rest of the U.S. Actually, our friendly troops are already doing reasonably well, I believe. Now they're being pushed back actually a little. So yes, our assistance might be greatly needed. The majority of the First Army has arrived near Pittsburgh, and Germany and the rest of the Axis are pouring forces in now as well. But there's fairly little here in terms of opposition, so I think at this point we will just burn through pretty much, and just go and destroy the rest of the Allied forces here, or literally just take the territory. The Americans are under pressure from every side, and we are moving on all fronts here. I have sent the mountain specialists to cut through the Appalachian Mountains, but I'm not even sure they're going to be here in time. Either way, we are going to get some of the tanks that we have here to roll towards Washington D.C. and we'll get some mechanized infantry as well. The Americans are contesting us in the air quite strongly, and we're bringing all the fighters to bear, but I think we now have taken the airport here, which should allow us to get the majority of our fighters a little... oh, that's a very small airport. Okay, that's not particularly helpful. Either way, I'm going to bring 4 fighter wings down south for more efficient operations. And we appear to have taken the other airport there as well. So let's bring 8 wings down here too. And it looks like Washington has already fallen. Yes, Washington has fallen. The American forces are cut off in the north near Baltimore. And we'll cut over to Philadelphia. Where has the government moved? Over to California? Yes, to Los Angeles. So still a bit of work to do here. But pretty much everything is very rapidly collapsing at this stage. And I'm not even sure we're going to need to wait for the mountain divisions to get here. But we're probably going to just drive south from Washington, to be honest, after we have cleared out the enemy positions here, because there's nobody left. So let's reorient our front lines, and yes, we've cleared everything up. So First Army, new front line. Yeah, it's mountainous, but I don't think it matters. So we will just drive south towards Florida at this point. And I think I'm going to reattach the Air Force to the Army. So let's get at least the close air support wings and the fighter wings. I've got a couple of miscellaneous air wings in the area. I'll just attach them and get them to just work together here on this. Whereas I don't think... I've still got another close air support wing that can go as well. And I think that's largely it. There's still some fighting in Greece, but nothing really special. There's been a lot of naval activity around the Atlantic, mostly American naval attacks, as well as us sinking the remnants of the American fleet and the occasional convoy here and there, but no major naval battle. And we're going to get the First Army to sweep south, and I think at this point we probably don't even need the 6 divisions from the 3rd anymore. But First Army, get into position, Air Force is attached, and then we will get going. I'm actually going to attach the railway guns as well, and then we'll swoop south. But yeah, we have secured. I'm going to hand this over to the American Empire, because I don't need to hold parts of Canada. But we have secured, I think, the Free American Empire and the rest of the United States with a extremely low war support, and they have still a sizable amount of divisions, comparing that to the Free State, but they are much more motivated. And while they have maybe one-fourth, one-fifth of the divisions, we have the advantage of having the First Army at place, and the First Army can just pretty much swoop through this, I believe. So First Army, get into position, and then actually First Army, go. With the fall of Miami, the complete East Coast is under the is under the possession of the Free American Empire, and the United States only control the western half of the country. They have still some divisions remaining, but with the combined force of the Axis, there's absolutely nowhere they can go. So we will give the First Army a new offensive order, and that will be to swoop through the United States and capture the coastline and take Los Angeles. That should spell the end of the United States of America. And that's it. Before we have even reached the capital, the completely demotivated population has overthrown their government that has brought so much misery onto them and has capitulated. We are receiving 50% of the stockpile, and we are in control of the Western United States. Now, the interesting question is, who is still active in the war? And who do we need to defeat in order to end this? Well, as it turns out, there are 4 more countries that we have to defeat. Ethiopia, the British Raj, the Republic of China, and Turkey. Well, no time like the present. First one down, Turkey has capitulated. That wasn't even me. Those were the Italians. Great news, absolutely. The Free American Empire is, by the way, massively expanding into the United Mexican States and into Canada. So again, I can leave that to our friendly countries to sort out. We are going to have to find a way, however, to make our way from here into the British Raj and into China. That's going to be a little tricky. Okay, first things first. The Strait of Gibraltar is currently contested, which means because the Allies are holding the south coast, Spain hasn't managed to hold northern Africa, which is where some Allied troops are remaining. So we'll do a naval invasion into the North African coast and try to take the positions there. Once the strike fleet is repaired, that should allow us access to the Mediterranean through the Strait of Gibraltar, and that'll allow us to clear the Mediterranean of enemy shipping, enact an invasion of Northern Africa, and we are currently positioning the Third Army's mountain divisions at the Iranian border, and they will be moving in to take over Iran, and that'll give us access to the British Raj, where we are currently building our intelligence networks, the same as in China, with some mischief on the horizon. But that's the sort of longer-term strategic plan to make this happen. And Canada has capitulated as well. So while we didn't get much out of that, I once again am going to have to try and clear up the borders here to make sure that the Free American Empire is in complete control. The United States have retreated towards Alaska, by the way, of all places. So, the fleet is, I think, almost repaired. Yes, we've got some damage on the battle cruiser still to repair, and then we'll go for Gibraltar. And while let's slow that down a little. And while we have been, while we're still trying to sort out Gibraltar, the Iran is up next. I have converted some of the Third Army's divisions into cavalry because, you know, despite there being oil in Iran, in terms of fuel, not so much. So we'll see how much the cavalry can get done. But first of all, let's hand out some medals here to the to the mountain divisions. And armor they don't need because they don't have any, but breakthrough they can probably use. So, and division organization. And you get breakthrough, and you're not a mountain division. Okay, so we've got that sorted. I do need to assign the Air Force actually, so I'll bring that over. We'll see what we can use, and then we will start the assault into Iran. Okay, the fleet is ready, and we will see if we can launch the naval invasion. And that would have to select him. This one. Yes, we can indeed. So we have enough to land a naval invasion. I can't invade directly at Suta here, but Soita, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but I can most certainly land the divisions here. I'm going to slow that a little down. So I do want to see what I'm doing here. So these are the 3 marine divisions. And once they've landed, I'm going to try and take the territory just here in the north, just to open and hold the Strait of Gibraltar. So there is some resistance, but it was so brief I couldn't even click on it. We'll see what the Chinese have stationed in here to secure the Mediterranean, but their hold on the Mediterranean is going to be over in a second, as that is a single division. So that one division is going to go, which means we are holding the entrance to the Mediterranean. There we go. Which means that now we can change the naval orders and exclude, for the first fleet, exclude these territories. But they now have control over the Mediterranean, which means we're going to give the battle fleet the strike force order and get them. By the way, this is starting to get us to a size where I think I can start splitting it as well. But they will now, and I'm going to get them into a much closer friendly port. So let's get them to Rome, for example. We should be able to we should control the straits now. Yes, so we should be able to get in there and see what we can get done. And hopefully, yeah, the divisions here are just here to hold Gibraltar. Our fleet is flooding in, so we will see what's going to go down in the Mediterranean. I think it's mostly the Eastern Mediterranean, really. So we'll clear the area of remaining Allied shipping, and the United States of Mexico have capitulated. So over here, yes, it looks like this by now. The Free American Empire has spread far and wide. There's bits of Canada left, but I'll leave that to the friendly troops to deal with. And once we have complete control, then I can hand this piece of territory over. Yeah, I apparently also now control some Caribbean states as well. Anyway, now that that's done, let's get the invasion of Iran going, and we shall. I'm actually not going to call the. Well, I might as well. I call the allies in because we might have more on the borders. Yeah, there's some people standing. There's some Germans in Mosul already, so. It looks like the Germans have started taking on the Middle East. So we've declared war here. Now, I am very curious to see how effective our cavalry divisions are going to be. And also our mountaineers, given that these Iranian divisions... Yes, Iran is going to join the Allies. These Iranian divisions don't have an awful lot going for them. Should be able to encircle and destroy here relatively quickly. Cavalry is moving in, and we'll just keep moving south. I want to see where the Iran does not have an awful lot of supply, so supply is going to be a major issue. There we go. And we'll just wipe that out. But we do need to make our way over to Tehran. And that's going to probably be a little bit of an issue. So, but I'm going to give the Third Army their marching orders, and we will see how well they will operate in this hostile terrain. I mean, we do have presumably, yes, we do have aerial superiority. I have the Air Force attached, but there's not an awful lot in terms of airports in the area either. Let's take a quick look at the situation in the Mediterranean. Germany, after we have cleared out the Allied navies in the Mediterranean, has started invading North Africa. We have sunk the Béarn and the Dunkirk, so that's part of the remaining parts of the French Navy, a couple of Russian ships, a couple of Chinese destroyers, more Russian small craft, and that was pretty much it. I think there's not an awful lot of interesting left in the Mediterranean. Yes, we have completely green naval forces in the Mediterranean, so we should be clear. And I'm hoping that Germany is making itself useful and is going to start retaking North Africa. And I'm just here to hold the lines at times. But our invasion of Iran is making progress. We have taken Tehran, but yeah, supply as usual is a massive problem. So I think I do need to construct a railway along the coastline here towards Tehran to get Tehran connected. Like that. There we go. And let's make that a level 5 railway, please. So Azerbaijan-Tehran railway, go, and we'll see if that'll help a little bit with the supply situation. Meanwhile, we are building up our intelligence networks in India and China. Of course, one of my operatives have gotten himself captured. It's him again, Francesco. He tends to get captured a lot. So and then we're going to start because the British Raj is extremely unstable. So the war support is relatively low, and we will see if we can increase the popularity of the fascist faction in the Indian parliament quite a bit. Okay, we are having supply, even just a little bit. And who's controlling this? The Germany's controlling this. So hopefully my troops are now starting to receive a little bit of supply and get back into... Oh, there we go. We're getting back into the assault of things. And yes, we do have green air over Iran, obviously. So we're back on the move. Greece has capitulated. After many years, Italy has finally managed to take over Greece. Germany has been quite busy in North Africa, so hopefully I don't need to get involved here, and Italy can just literally go and retake Ethiopia. That would be great, so I don't have to deal with that. Germany is busy going through the Middle East, and Italy is... Yep, Cairo has just fallen. I don't think there's much left here, honestly, to hold them in place. And we are still making our way slowly but surely through Iran. I'm still trying to build up the railway connections a bit more here. We might as well actually just improve those as well. Since we are here, is there any other supply in Iran? Somewhere in the south. So we do have the factories, and we may as well start making the life better for the people on the ground by building some railroads. So we'll start building some railroads towards the eventual connections here in the south, and once we have that captured. And there we go. Iran has capitulated, so that's out of the way, which means we can now get the Third Army's divisions that are currently busy inside Iran. In fact, this is all mountainous terrain, yes. So that's why I'm not bringing... The terrain here is horrible. That's why I'm not bringing any of the... First Army over here. But Third Army should be reasonably well equipped for this kind of task. So we'll already get them on the border here with an invasion order into the British Raj. And we'll see what is the political situation in the Raj at this point. Support is still relatively low. So we'll see. We might in fact just go and invade it at this point. I don't know how much they have left in terms of troops. They have nothing left, so we're just gonna go invade it. I'll bring some First Army troops over. Okay, this is getting a little broken here. Okay, I'll clear this up until we actually reach the border, and then we'll have to connect the supply, and then we'll start the invasion. The first army can come along once we have things established here. As it turns out, while we are trying to take the port of Bandar el Abbas, the Chinese have brought massive amounts of troops onto the borderline here. So I think it's time to show them a new kind of fear, because I happen to have a... where is it? I happen to have the Demon Mark 1's strategic bombers available. These are 6-engine strategic bombers, and that means they can carry something that the Chinese probably haven't seen before. And there we go. And for good measure, we'll send one in the north as well. Well, Germany's been building these up for a bit, so... China, do you still want to defend this territory? I can do it again. I've got plenty. How about in the south? There. I would say that should somewhat soften up the Chinese positions in the area. They are still trying to attack us, of course, regardless, but I don't think they have much. I don't think they have much left. No, most of them are relatively weak at this point. So hopefully the Chinese position there. Oh, there's another one. Okay, we can't. We don't have anybody in range at that, but irradiated mountains near Iran are a bit of a problem. Bandar el Abbas would be really nice if we could get that, but I am trying to get supply also. I am going to send whatever troops I have north here. Let's get the front line removed. I'm going to send the troops I have north, and we will try to assault Bandar el Abbas from multiple directions, because the Chinese are still assaulting us despite the fact that they literally just had a couple of nukes on them. And I think, well, that warrants respect, I would say. Though despite the show of force using nuclear weapons, the Chinese are relatively undeterred. They are still pushing back on us. Which means I am sending marine divisions from the First Army in, and I have sent the Navy to begin checking out the Arabian Sea, West Indian Ocean, to make sure that we have some area where we can invade behind the Chinese lines, and then just outright destroy whatever is here. Unfortunately, the Germans, in their infinite wisdom, decided to blow up the Suez Canal, so we do have to go the long way around, but we'll get there eventually. The Chinese are actually advancing along the lines here, so let's once again make sure that they know our power and they stay where they are. So burn in nuclear fire, you will, if you try to advance any further than that. And after that, I'm going to give it a try with the Third Army's troops that we have here, because the first hasn't arrived yet. So after we have created an irradiated wasteland, we'll see if we can make some breakthroughs here, encircle and destroy some of their divisions, and got mountain divisions here as well. So we'll see. Yeah, if we can cut them off here. No, they can still escape to the north. But let's attempt to move north here through the mountains, and see if we can cut them off in the north as well. The cavalry is doing similar actions in the south, as to see if we can cut these divisions off. I'm not sure what's here, so we'll just make sure that it's no longer there. And with that copious amount of nuclear firepower, I think our breakthroughs are actually happening quite satisfactorily, which is good. So we should be able to encircle and destroy most of the Chinese forces here in the area. These are not yet giving up. Drop another nuke on them. There we go. And we should be able to break through here. Actually, let's see if we can get across the border and then break through. Because here we're obviously just pushing them back at this point. But I think we have managed to catch some of them unawares in the north, which are currently being destroyed by my mountain specialists. There we go. And then we'll get the mountaineers to see if we can get them around everyone. And destroy the rest of them before we get to it. Germany has reached Ethiopia after taking over Northern Africa, many years late, and I'm not sure though they can break through here. Because this is all mountainous terrain in Ethiopia. I might have to bring the third in because we're currently stuck in the Indian area anyway. While the Chinese are throwing massive amounts, and even the Americans have shown up. And the Navy is still busy trying to clear the Arabian Sea. I am not sure. We'll include. Well, we can't reach that; it's too far. But whatever we can reach, whatever which is in range, we are trying to clear it out. And I might divert the third to Ethiopia first to help the Germans here. Although they might make progress. Well. I'll leave them. They're almost in Addis Ababa. I'll leave them to it. I think Germany can do it. And for now, we're just defending here at the lines, waiting for the naval invasion to go through. Okay, so we're still hunting the elusive naval forces that are blocking us from invading India, but we have now managed to encircle a fair amount of Chinese divisions in the north here with some air support, because we have literally brought in the Air Force at this point, and we'll see if we can make another, if we can double that one, and catch these 12 divisions in the south as well. But first, these will need to be destroyed. Those will be destroyed, and I've got the Imperial fleet hunting for any kind of naval assets. But the army still believes that it's too risky. In that case, we'll just take Karachi on the landway and do it. And then send the first army in here and take over the rest of India, in which case I can actually already start moving my operatives all to China, because I don't think we're going to need to start a coup in India anymore. You can already start boosting ideology, and you can be in the Chinese Republic, build up your intel network. And everyone else is captured. Okay, there we go. Okay, another one down. And another smaller encirclement that we will need to deal with. And here we'll just hold for now against the counterattack. But I think we're through to the point, this is all desert, but we're through to the point that we can start sending the first in. And I'll bring the first, I'll cancel the naval invasion. I'll bring the first army in at this point. And we've got some here. I'll bring the rest in for the front lines, and then we'll swoop through the British Raj. We're just dropping the occasional nuke left, right, and center, just to make sure that whatever opposition we're facing is not strong enough to resist. And I think. We're almost taking the port in Karachi here. I might have to actually bring some. Yeah, I've got the first army divisions on the move here, so the rest of them is still in on that. I might send some third army troops here just to deal with what's left. And we are already on the move, swooping through. Yeah, we're on the move, swooping through India. I don't think the British Raj is going to last much longer, and this is all going to fall into German control, because I am still dealing with... No, I don't deal with garrisoning anymore, so that's good. Which means the Republic of China is going to be the last one. Ethiopia is still not happening. Oh, and this... I think the state of Japan has now become... independent, so we're going to need to deal with these as well. That's fine, we can invade them later. But yeah, as expected, Germany got stuck near Addis Ababa. So I know what I'm going to do with the Third Army. I'm actually going to send them south to deal with this. Okay, supply in Ethiopia is going to be atrocious. So first order of business is to capture the supply hubs in the north. And for that we have some mountain divisions. And we will just walk through and pretty much clear everything up here. And that should do the trick. I'll send some of the cavalry into the area as well. I don't think they can. I don't think the Ethiopians can resist any of these experienced troops. I don't know what Germany's been doing here, but where's Addis Ababa? There we go. Ethiopia. Are you sure you want to keep resisting? I am relatively certain you do not want to do that. So let's see if we can launch an assault onto Addis Ababa, and that should be the end of Ethiopia after blowing up most of their resisting forces there. The Axis really are... there's not much you can really do at this point to resist us. So we're just waiting for the troops to reach Addis Ababa, and that should be the end of Ethiopia, to be honest. I don't think they have... I don't think they can... they're still mounting some desperate resistance here. I don't think they can... there we go. Addis Ababa has fallen. That should be it for Ethiopia, I would think. Surprisingly not. So this might have changed in the... That's fine. We'll just move towards the other capital and just take that out. Now that we've taken Addis Ababa, they have nowhere left to go. So Ethiopia is going to capitulate, and that is another one off the list. The British Raj is, well, being overrun by the First Army, let me put it that way. And Ethiopia is being dealt with as well. Okay, seriously, Ethiopia, you should capitulate at this point. Interestingly enough, they still don't. Okay, I can take more of your territory. That is not a problem, absolutely not. So if you insist to resist, then that will be the end of that. I do have mountain specialists in the area, so we'll just cut through until they no longer resist, and then that will be it. How is the British Raj? We haven't really caught an awful lot of enemy naval forces, except the occasional destroyer groups. So British Raj is slowly falling. Okay, Ethiopia has been taken over, Italian East Africa, and that leaves two on the list, Republic of China and the State of Japan. So now we have to find a way to invade China. We do have potentially some... this is all terrible territory, so I'm going to use the Third Army again and get the Third Army's troops. In fact, I'm going to get the rest of the Third Army transferred into cavalry divisions as well, and I'm gonna get because these use comparatively little supply, I'm actually going to give all of these divisions a we don't need the maintenance company, but the logistics company is what we want. Okay, logistics, yep, and that is minimizing the amount. How about the mountain divisions? That should minimize the amount of supply that these divisions are taking up. Mountain divisions, I don't think will be... I'm going to give you logistics as well, which is going to further reduce the supply use of these divisions. So the Third Army is going to be taking on... checking on China, if we can find a way to get there. And the Third Army's march has begun. We'll have to get through the Yunnan Independent Republic for now, and then we'll make our way towards Nanjing. We'll see how much of China we'll have to capitulate before that goes down, but I'm already placing some of my operatives, and we will be working on the Chinese motivation and support for the war and their general stability. We'll get that out of the way. Of course, with if they concentrate their troops like this, with a copious amount of nuclear explosions to soften up enemy positions where enemy troop concentrations are relatively vast, and when we have nukes available, why not use them? There's some in the north here, but we don't have aerial superiority, and I'm not managing the air force anymore at this point. But enemy troops retreating, all good. Germany is pushing through South Asia as well. Germany is now controlling most of, and Yunnan has capitulated already, is now controlling most of the territory in Southeast Asia. And I believe we have started to make our first forays into China. So let's make sure the Third Army is all on target, and we definitely don't need Scavenger, so we'll take Fortress Buster. We've got everyone, and yes, as you can see, even with the low supply consumption units, we are not in a good state supply-wise here. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I definitely don't want to bring the First Army in, because these tanks are just going to be stuck everywhere. And at long last, the Hui Republic is back on the map. And we are making progress slowly but surely towards Nanjing. The one thing that I'm doing is building air bases here, just to get ourselves a bit more air support, because right now, as usual, fighting in China is no fun. And we are making our way towards the capital of Nanjing in China. That is hopefully going to push them close enough to capitulation, although the northern parts of the Republic of China are still fighting back. But I think our mountain divisions are almost there. We'll move on towards Shanghai, and then from there we can already start planning the invasion of the Japanese islands, and making sure that that will be the last domino to fall. China is at this point 66% towards capitulation. But with taking the capital, that should have definitely help. And we've got a couple of... Oh, there we go. No, that was the Shanxi Republic. The Hui Republic is now rapidly becoming China, in that it takes over everything that's remaining, and we are clearing the remaining positions here in the south. The choice to use the mountain divisions and the cavalry was actually a good one, because the tanks wouldn't have gotten anywhere. They would have literally just been sitting there without fuel and unable to do anything. So these light forces were way more suited towards the war in Asia as it is here. Where have they moved their capital? I'm not sure actually. Yeah, I think China is about to capitulate. We are wiping out the last remnants of their defenders here in the south, and we will then move everybody north, because we don't really need to deal with the Republic here. Let's get the rest of the Chinese divisions defeated, and then do we have a port from which we can operate? Yes, we do. And stop intercepting the Dutch. We don't really care about the Dutch. Oh, it looks like Germany is already invading Tokyo. They haven't even waited for me. So my divisions aren't even there yet, and the Germans are already making their way across. Their German forces have landed in Tokyo, and I think that means we can we don't even need a naval invasion anymore. We can just give the First Army a front line. First Army has landed, and I think to celebrate this is the one I'm going to do myself. Where's the airport? Well, let's move towards Nagoya, and we'll get the rest of the troops here to clear out, and you start moving north. And we have green air over Japan. You know what that means? Let's go. Oh yeah. I think the Germans are having fun here as well at this point. And
are we the baddies?
Yeah, it's been an interesting run. I'll do the peace conference just to. Oh wow, they have everybody inside Nagasaki. Why are we having a front line in the north here? No, let's get the First Army, please. in Nagasaki. And there we have it. The game's over. We have won. It looks like the German Empire still gets the total score, but then again, we were here for for getting them back on their feet, and I don't think they will forget that. The Empire of Finno-Ugria is now containing of the northernmost regions of Europe and Asia. We have everything under our control here. Germany is controlling most of the territory in all the way up to, let's see, we can actually see that. This is all Axis territory, yeah. Canada, for some reason, hasn't been taken over by the Free American Empire, but Germany has taken the north here. The war is over, however, so I'm not sure what happened to Canada here, because, yeah, Canada is still on the Allies. Germany has taken over England, but left Ireland alone. Most of Africa is under German control, except for the bits that are controlled by Italy. And I think Germany has taken over most of Southeast Asia. And the Japanese emperor has been restored to his former glory. And there you have it, my friends. This was the Baltic Unitary State disaster save. We have won the war against the Allies. It's only taken until 1966. And with that, this is now, after the official end, this is now the final end of the series. There's nothing more to do. The game is over. Thank you for being around. It's been great. It's been a very interesting series, even though it did get a little time-consuming in the end. I don't want to count how many hours I've sunk into this, but we have completed the game. And I will be taking a little break by now, because I have recorded ahead quite a bit, but I'll be taking a little break from Hearts of Iron 4, because I have some other things to record as well. And then I'll be updating everything, and I'll be starting the Kaiserreich game on my first ever modded approach. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, thanks everybody again for staying around, and I will see you all in the next series. Bye bye.